Ladies and gentlemen, once again welcome to another Graham Budd Table of Plenty, where we take a look at one of the up and coming auctions and some of the wonderful items that we've got consigned therein. And today is no different. Of course, I'm joined by our Chief Executive, the one and only Mr. Adam Gascoigne. Adam, how are you?
Wonderful, John, wonderful.
He's always wonderful, ladies and
always
gentlemen.
wonderful.
Up and coming in the rugby auction, we have got some wonderful things, haven't we?
Some fantastic items, yeah. I've got to focus on the World Cup. 20 years this year since England won it in 2003, and to have two shirts from the final, I think is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Phil Vickery's shirt and Johnny Wilkinson's first half shirt, both played in very different positions. Johnny obviously scored the winning drop goal. One of the really interesting things to note that we discovered getting the shirts together to compare them is they're actually two different styles of shirt depending on the position of the players. So Phil Vickery's shirt, extra seams for strength, and also screen printing across the chest and on the shoulders to make the ball stick to the shirt easy and for the extra grip so they can carry the ball. Johnny's shirt, much simpler, no centre seam, no printing, not necessarily for those. 5 players during the game wore that style, the rest of the players wore that. So interesting that same game but two slightly different styles of shirt, and that's come out since we've been doing our work on the shirts. So as I say, Johnny's shirt, first half only. Provenance is fantastic. It was won in a competition by a young lad. Johnny and his dad came round and delivered the shirt personally. So he's had the shirts ever since. So in terms of provenance, you're not going to get any better than that. We know the second half shirt still with Johnny, and can't imagine that ever coming to market. So this is as close as you're going to get to the shirt.
Absolutely iconic as well, isn't it?
And you know, having said its first half shirt, it's been matched with the stains and everything, and it's still 40 to 60,000. So just a stunning piece.
Yeah, superb.
To have, and that's going to form one of the centre, if not the centrepiece of the sale.
Certainly the World Cup. Yeah, and the Vickery shirt. I mean, obviously another superb player.
Still a fantastic shirt. You know, to have one shirt from the final's amazing, but to have two, obviously reflected slightly in the positions and the role that Johnny played in the game, but still 10 to 15,000 for that shirt. And it's nice to say, I just love the fact side by side seeing the two different styles. Yeah,
and I mean, in what we do at Graham Budd, we're so fortunate we stand next to history all the time. It's incredible history, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
What a nice ball you've got there.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's just for props. That's,
indeed.
It's a commemorative ball from the 2015 final, so not match shoes, not signed, just a nice item. They produced, obviously, all the different balls, different designs as you go through each World Cup. That ball there's again, it's a commemorative ball from 2003, or rather a squad signed ball from 2003. The actual ball they use is a green and blue ball during the game. So, but all the team signatures, a nice little plaque on that that talks you through England's famous victory.
What's something like that sort of in the estimates out for the sale then, Adam?
About £500, something like that, 300 to 500.
But again, it's a reasonably affordable piece of history with some great signatures on there as well.
Yeah, that's all about the signatures and the complete England squad. I can see Ben Kay upside down from here and various different guys, Martin Johnson and stuff. So a nice ball in its own right.
And for an unsigned ball?
£60 to £80.
Brilliant, but again, we talk about that's 8 years old now.
Yeah.
And only going one way. So the boots, obviously, we've seen what football boots fetch in the general sporting sales. We've seen them command incredible sums for David Beckham, players of that nature. Of course, you've got another luminary there from Rugby. We talked about Wilco already. A pair of his Adidas boots. What's the story behind those? So
very similar to the boots he wore in the World Cup in 2003. These were actually worn by him in the warm-up games in the run-up to the World Cup. So very similar. Great provenance again, and even though they're not from the World Cup themselves, Wilkinson's boots with the embroidery on the tongue, great provenance, £7,000.
Wow.
Something around that mark.
So we're seeing a point now where, I mean, obviously we're looking at the creme de la creme of rugby union here, but a lot of the really, really great things now are getting up to football money. We've always seen football fetch the big bucks in the past, but this is really catching on.
No, absolutely. And again, you're seeing, I mean, these items are right at the top.
Yeah.
Top of the tree, really. So you can imagine if you were looking at a 66 shirt or an England shirt worn in a World Cup final by somebody scoring the win, you'd be, you know, well into six figures, and you'd be looking 150, 200, 250,000 for an equivalent football shirt. So still a way to go, but still significant numbers, and still appreciating. You wouldn't mind winning that in a local competition, would you?
At that of the meat raffle, I think I'd be quite happy with that, yeah. Which brings me on to, normally when we do one of these podcasts, we've got something quite old, reasonably stained and looking like it's been used, with David Comrie being stood with us. David's not here today.
He's not, unfortunately.
But we do have this wonderful shirt. Obviously, a big difference in the style of shirts that we've seen there already. It is what you call traditional rugby shirt. What's the story behind that one, Adam?
Well, you're absolutely right. That's the first fitted shirt that was worn in internationals in 03. Previous to that, you've got your typical, what everybody thinks as a rugby shirt.
Absolutely, yeah.
This particular shirt comes from the famous Barbarians versus the All Blacks '73. It's actually Sandy Carmichael's
Really?
worn shirt from the game, number 3 on the back. The game's famous for arguably the greatest try in history.
Yeah, so they say.
And again, you know, that's reflected in the value of that, 12 to 15,000.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's what you call, I mean, that's when you think of your childhood watching rugby union, that's the classic All Black shirt, isn't it?
Barbarians.
Barbarians, sorry, yeah.
But,
you know the game I'm talking about.
Yeah, but absolutely, and everybody, I'm sure everybody can remember the try and the commentary, and they just kept going, and it was so fantastic reminder of that.
Yeah, and stood in the middle, as we said, of true rugby union history. I mean, this is incredible at one table and all this.
And if you're a serious collector of rugby union items, who wouldn't want that in a collection?
Absolutely love it, yeah. I mean, the old shirts to me are always the best.
Yeah.
Got such character, haven't they? But there you go. So, once again, the auction is up and coming. The catalogue will very shortly be online for you all to enjoy and look at. Some superb items, and we talk about the real creme de la creme. There's some wonderful rugby union stuff that we've consigned for it as well. Just thinking, for instance, of a lot of itineraries and programmes for the Wales tour across in New Zealand in 1969. There's travel tags and everything there at very affordable prices. So once again, thank you for joining us.